Howdy folks, I'm Strange Satyr, skillfully satirizing silly scandals.
I'm Amber.
And here are more silly scandals for us to continue to satirize, because I guess that's reality now. Let's get started. Alright folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Forgetting Our Plans? I'm a 26-year-old male, and I have a new coworker, June, a 20-year-old female, and we have become friends. We have been spending a lot of time together. Well, a few days ago, it was my birthday, and one of my friends threw me a surprise party. I was so busy with the party that I forgot that Julia wanted to celebrate the birthday with me. As soon as I remembered, I wanted to send her a message, and I saw that she had sent me a picture. She had prepared my favorite meal and bought my favorite cake and a pair of headphones I told her that I liked. I called her, and she was really upset, and I did apologize, and I told her that she didn't have to. She's a broke college student, and those looked quite expensive. I never expected this. She called me a bunch of names and started to cry, and she hung up. Now she won't talk to me. I don't know what to do. I already apologized, and I don't understand why she's being like this. All right, folks, what do you think?
OP, I understand sometimes people forget things, but that is a pretty big thing to forget. It sounds like she took a lot of time and energy to plan this for you. And you seem very nonchalant and blasé about the whole thing.
Yeah. Well, the biggest thing that OP should have done is when their friend threw them the surprise party is let them know that, oh, well, I really appreciate this. I actually have other plans with someone else,
Yeah, yeah.
And then I'm sure the friend would be really understanding towards that and be like, oh, I'm really sorry. I didn't realize you had plans, right? Now, it also sounds like when OP says friend, they mean someone who has a romantic interest in them.
Well, it definitely seems like, and OP in the comments denies it, but it definitely seems like she feels something for OP. And yeah, I wanted to clarify. I forgot for a second that the friends surprised him with the party. I thought for a second he had forgotten and scheduled two things, but yeah, no. The right thing to do about the surprise party would have been to turn it down and say, sorry, I have other plans. So I 100% agree with you.
Or even call up the friend as soon as they are in the middle of the surprise party and, tell them, oh, hey, someone threw me a surprise party. Do you want to come on over and celebrate with everyone? Or do you want us to, do you want me to, come on over to your place still? How do you want to do this, right? And that way she could have been at least involved in the conversation. And then that way she wouldn't have been sitting around by herself all, for quite a while without OP being there, right?
Yeah, but I think this is probably a valuable lesson for her that she's seen where she is in OP's life.
Yeah. Well, and again, they've been spending a lot of time together, and I think this was, the reason why she's upset is, I know OP, you were saying that he's denying it in the comments, but he may not realize how much of a crush she has on him, and that this was kind of her moment to, prove her affection to him, and so I would say that it's pretty likely that she has a thing for him, and that this was, a bigger deal than what OP realizes, because again, this was something that she was doing to kind of show how much she cared about OP, right? And she put all this effort and time and everything into this, preparing this meal that OP wasn't around for.
Yeah, OP just blew her off.
Yeah, and I can understand why she's really frustrated and sad about that. That's a sad situation. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. But folks, let's see what the Wheel of Judgment has to say. Wheel of Judgment, turn, turn, turn. Tell us the judgment that OP's earned. No judgment. The wheel wants those headphones. And T. Mickelden says, and you're the jerk for dating someone at the very edge of what is acceptable according to the half your age plus 7 rule. One, they're not dating, right? I think that the person's reading into this. And Taro Pie says, she went out of her way to make you feel special. Give her some space and stop defending yourself for now. And OP replies, she doesn't like space. She gets more upset if I don't talk to her for a long time. I just don't know what she wants me to do. And T. Mickelden says, she wants you to buy her flowers and show up at her door begging for forgiveness. I don't know, what do you think about that?
She might. I don't know. I'm not her.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
I mean, it does seem like she's into him, and so some kind of romantic gesture would probably go a long way, but only if he is into her in that way.
Yeah,
Don't want to get her hopes up.
well, that's just it. And Global Industry 5124 says, I guess she has a crush on you and you broke her heart. And OP replies, I don't think so. It's not like that. And Sure Thing 51 says, you're the jerk. You forgot plans with someone who clearly cared about you. And then you made it worse by downplaying her effort instead of showing real gratitude. By the way, she's into you. And OP replies, I'm not downplaying it. I'm saying that this was too much. She's already broke. I don't want her to struggle just to buy me a gift. Alright folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for giving a blanket that I crocheted for my boyfriend to another guy? I'm a 24-year-old female and I recently got into crocheting and have been making small projects like pot holders and stuffed animals. Most of what I've made has been for myself, but I've also made a few things for my boyfriend, a 28-year-old male. Since it's getting colder, I decided to crochet a chunky blanket. I remember my boyfriend mentioning that he wanted a new comforter, so I thought that this would be a sweet way to make the blanket for him as a surprise. Well, while working on it, I noticed the chunky yarn collected hair really easily, especially my hair and my cat's hair. My boyfriend is very particular about hair being on things, so I thought that it would be better to tell him instead of fully surprising him. I texted him something like, I'm working on a new crochet project, a blanket. I was going to give it to you since you wanted a new comforter, but I've noticed that this yarn collects hair really easily. His response was, we can use that as a sex blanket. I was honestly hurt. I was putting time and money into making him something handmade and thoughtful. And his first thought was to use it for something that he would probably get dirty and throw aside. He didn't seem appreciative at all. So I decided just to finish the blanket and keep it for myself. Later, I was venting to a friend about the comment. One of them, a male friend, said, I would be happy to have a blanket made with love. He has previously expressed interest in me, but he has never crossed any boundaries or disrespected my relationship. It genuinely felt like he appreciated the effort more, so I ended up giving the blanket to him. I did tell my boyfriend that I gave the blanket to someone else, and he got very upset. He said that it was extremely disrespectful to give something originally intended for him to another man. I told him that he made it seem like it wasn't special at all to him with his initial reaction, so I didn't think that he would care. Now he's still bothered by it and says I crossed a line, especially giving it to someone who has shown interest in me before. So am I the jerk? Alright folks, what do you think?
I mean, OP, I don't think you're in the wrong for not giving the boyfriend the blanket. He does not deserve the blanket. I think that was a fine choice, but I also think it's a little questionable that you gave the blanket to someone who is into you while you're with your boyfriend. Like, keeping the blanket for yourself would be fine. Giving it to a friend who's not lusting after you would be fine. But I do have to question this a little bit here.
Well, I might actually be a little more unforgiving towards OP here because she didn't have to tell her boyfriend that she gave the blanket away to somebody else, right? And on top of that, she told him that she gave it away to somebody who has feelings for him or for her, right? And he knows apparently that this guy has feelings for her. So it does feel a little bit intentional, right? It isn't like, oh, I just gave it away to I just gave it away, right? Because she could have said that.
Yeah.
But she made a point to tell him, oh, I gave it to this guy who has a crush on me. See, somebody appreciates me. And it feels a little bit like that, right? But I think that, these kinds of things can be really complicated, and her feelings are probably hurt by the fact that he didn't want this blanket, right? And that OP was doing all this time and effort to do something really nice for him, and she didn't feel appreciated about it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Black Delilah says, not the jerk, and I say this very lightly, you made a mistake of telling him at all. You should have just given it away without the drama and made your boyfriend another blanket that didn't collect as much hair. It's not that big of a deal that you gave it away, though you should not have given it to someone who likes you. It's weird. Your boyfriend is understandably upset, probably more so that it was to another guy. Again, my only issue is that the guy likes you. Neither of you need to be jerks, but you do need to sit down and talk to him about why it hurt your feelings. Communicate and evolve. If your boyfriend still insists that you're the problem, well, maybe look at the relationship as a whole. And Unserious Cat says, boyfriend doesn't deserve a handmade blanket at all.
Yeah, that's my thought.
And Black Delilah says, you're absolutely correct. I only said it so that she can placate the beast. But he deserves nothing. Well, then why placate him at all?
Well, yeah, if you have to placate your partner, then maybe it's not the right relationship.
Annoyed Artificer says, I crochet and the sex blanket thing made me want to dump him. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Hot Requirement 1663 says, I think that what your boyfriend said was very gross and dismissive of your efforts and feelings. That being said, the optics girl. You made something with love intended for your boyfriend, and you're going to give it to the one guy who is in love with you? I think that's very disrespectful to your relationship, whether or not I think it's a good one. You should have talked to your boyfriend about what he said instead. And Night O'Pain says, the optics of this is what makes this you're the jerk. Alright folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Being Cozied Up with My Girlfriend? My girlfriend and I were at a gathering with some friends recently because we were watching a football match. We were seated on the same beanbag in my friend's living room watching the game. She was nestled into my side a little bit, and I had my arm around her. We were not making out, and we were not snuggling, and we weren't even really displaying much physical affection toward each other. The beanbag just wasn't large, and the most comfortable and ergonomic way to be together on the beanbag was to be pressed up against each other. Well, here's where the issue arises. After we had gone home, one of my friends, not the host, privately reached out and told me that my girlfriend and I had been acting inappropriately at the gathering, and that us being so close on the beanbag was inconsiderate because he had recently broken up with his longtime partner. I haven't even responded yet because frankly, I don't even know what to say. Like I mentioned earlier, my girlfriend and I were not partaking in any inappropriate activity, nor were even really being that affectionate. We were simply sitting on the same beanbag, and I had my arm around her. Am I the jerk? All right, folks, what do you think?
No, not the jerk. I think it's an unreasonable ask to expect people to, like, couples to, like, sit 5 feet apart or something. Like, I understand he's upset about his relationship breaking up,
Yeah.
but it doesn't sound like OP was full on PDA or anything like that. Like,
Yeah.
just sitting together on a beanbag with his arm around her is very, like, standard behavior. I mean, there's nothing over the top about it.
Yeah, but yeah, I think that this was an unreasonable ask just because he is in a, bit of a issue. Just because he is out of a relationship and has his heart broken doesn't mean that he needs to take that out on everyone else, right?
Right. Well, and it's pretty big to expect, everyone else in your friend circle to not show any affection to their partner whatsoever. Like, he's going to see happy couples out in the world.
Yeah.
And, unfortunately, like, there's just nothing you can do.
They weren't even being like lovey-dovey or anything
Well,
like that,
yeah.
right? They were sitting next to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I could understand it being a little bit different if they were sitting there making out,
Mm-hmm.
swallowing each other's tongues the entire time, right? Like, yeah, no one wants to see that. But the fact that they were just sitting beside each other,
Mm-hmm.
nah, I mean, this is a bit out of place here. He's just being bitter about his relationship status, and that's understandable. Like, it's okay for him to be sad about the breakup of his relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it isn't okay for him to take that out on other people.
Yeah, or expect them to change their life, like hide their life for him.
Yeah. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And 401 Nailhead says, sounds like a him problem, not you problem. You keep cozy with your girlfriend, don't ever stop. And OP replies, I can't stop and I won't stop, my friend. She is my world. And ThinkStorm8909 says, lol, you can't sit with your girlfriend and make out because this friend recently broke up. What's going to happen if he loses a family member and sees you with your family? Is he going to ask you to stop hanging out with your family because it's not fair? Or what if he loses his job? Does he expect you to be unemployed as well? Seriously, this guy needs to work through his heartbreak in a healthy way and not expect people to hold off on showing affection towards their partners just because he got dumped. And yes, 100% sounds like he got dumped, and I can see why. And OP replies, his ex broke up with him for a multitude of reasons. But from what I've heard from my girlfriend, who is still friends with the ex, he apparently was remarkably incapable of showing any indication that he had matured past the age of 14. And we're seeing that now. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here. And Amber, she has a joke.
How do skeletons make calls?
I would say skeletons make calls with a bone phone.
Or on the skelephone.
Oh, the skelephone.
And in unrelated news, it's National Chucky Day today.
Oh, avoid any dolls. Any and all dolls. That's what I have to say. And I have a special guest tea. Today, the special guest tea I have is Decaf Lotus Blossom Green. And it's from Tao, Tazo again. Replenished with a delicate blend of green tea flavored with the essence of lotus flower. The ingredients are naturally decaffeinated green tea and natural flavors. How do I like it? It tastes like green tea. Maybe it's just very old. It does have a hint of floral to it, but it's not overpowering, so it's mostly green tea. Alright folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Spectacular Saturday, folks. I hope your Saturday is off to a spectacular start. Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance, and please have it on love.
A partner who would belittle a very time-intensive handmade gift is probably not worth being a partner at all.
Yeah, that probably is a good call. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye!
His response was, we can use it as a $3...
As an intimate time blanket.
Oh. I was so confused. I was like, $3 X blanket?
Yeah, I was so confused at first.
Gotta go get my sex blanket.